This is one of my favorite parts of the show. It is when we get to interview a celebrity, a world leader, someone who comes to the Schuman Show to give us their exclusive, unfiltered views. And we have a very special, unusual guest for you today. Please put your hands together for the Prime Minister of Hungary, Mr. Viktor Orbán. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Orbán. Please have a seat. Well, I have to say, I wasn't quite sure you would reply positively to our invitation, but it's great to have you.
Thank you, and first of all, congratulations to you, Kelly, and to your viewers for having the longest-standing Prime Minister in EU on your little stage, so you're welcome.
The longest-serving Prime Minister with questionable elections and rule of law practices.
You flatter me, Kelly, thank you. I agree, my laws rule. Joking aside, Hungary has a constitution, and Article 2.1 of said constitution states that the Republic of Hungary is an independent, democratic, constitutional state.
Sure. Okay, Mr. Orbán, I'm sure your constitution does say that.
Does?
Yes, but in practice, you've been suppressing your people's rights and your voters' rights for years.
1 minute into the interview, and I already have to address these lies spun by the propaganda machine of Soros George.
Are you saying that George Soros has brainwashed us all into believing that Hungary has deep-rooted problems?
Yes, I agree with you. They have. And I have proof. There's a big octopus of his reach. And it's all here, black and white. Your viewers can make their own mind.
Okay, well, I mean, all I see is a red thread linking von der Leyen, Zelensky, George Soros, and Biden.
So you see it too. Thank you.
I mean, I also see Vladimir Putin and Trump with little hearts around them.
Thank you. Side project.
Okay, fine. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about the Ukraine. You recently left the room during the council meeting in which all other member states unanimously approved opening accession negotiations for Ukraine. Did you not?
Thank you for noticing. I was the only one to leave the room to save the drowning mother and child.
Drowning where? In the council?
In water, Kelly. Do I have to explain everything? It's not that difficult.
Okay, I mean, I guess there's a swimming pool in Aspria, but I mean, we don't even have a river nearby.
I don't know what to say, Kelly.
I thought that Olaf Scholz told you to go outside and have a coffee.
I don't even drink coffee. I only drink palinka, and believe me, Olaf Scholz doesn't have the backbone to drink palinka with me.
Okay, well, I have to admit, I'm not that familiar with Chancellor Scholz's practices, but can you tell us, why are you so opposed to Ukraine joining the EU?
Dear people, the year is 2024, and we are sat here talking whether we're going to accept into the EU a country that is riddled with corruption, that suppresses human rights, and that has no freedom of speech whatsoever. For me, unacceptable. For you, I guess this is fine.
I'm sorry, Mr. Orbán, but it's just really funny to hear the leader of Hungary criticize Ukraine for some things that you yourself have been so much criticized for.
You mean lied about too?
Well, the other leaders within the EU and other institution heads are saying this about you.
Of course they say this, because they are jealous.
They're jealous?
They're jealous that the great Hungarian Empire has been the bastion of European civilization since the time of Hungarian-Austrian Empire.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't remember my history that well, but I thought it was the austro-hungarian Empire.
You read printed Soros's copies in your little schools in Greece, Western propaganda. I have proof, historical proof, about the greatness of the Hungarian Empire.
Okay, so, I mean, honestly, I don't really see the difference.
One is bigger.
Okay, and when is this dating from?
Throughout history, the great Hungarian Empire has always been like this. Only now you're pretending.
Always? Always. Okay,
Always.
but if you want to go that far in history, I mean, technically, didn't the Huns come from Asia into Europe?
Kelly, let's not live in the past. This is getting silly now. If you can move on, thank you.
Okay, fine. Well, actually, I have other questions for you. In fact, let's talk about Sweden. Your parliament was the last parliament to ratify Sweden's entry into NATO. What's your problem with Sweden?
There's no problem. We were just asked last.
The reason you're telling us all that the reason Hungary was dilly-dallying on Sweden's NATO accession was because you were asked last?
I do not know these fancy words, dilly-dally. Sweden never came to us. To Turkey, they sent planes, they sent gifts. To us, they didn't even come to our country to ask. They came to our country, we gave it. That's simple as that.
Okay, so it was all a protocol issue.
Basic human decency, Kelly.
All right, well, speaking of human decency, I want to ask you about minorities. Don't you believe that minorities deserve to be treated with respect and basic human decency?
I am very grateful to you, Kelly, for bringing up this topic that is very dear to me, very important, and I want you all to listen. I firmly believe that the rights of Hungarian minority in Ukraine, in Slovenia, in Austria, in Croatia needs to be protected at all costs. You are completely right, Kelly. Well done.
Okay, thank you, and I don't disagree, but I was more thinking about members of the LGBTI community, refugees in Hungary, for example. Shouldn't they also be treated with respect?
If I may get a little philosophical here, Kelly.
Okay.
You see, I'm going to use a metaphor. One of the greatest inventions in the humankind comes from Hungary. It is the Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
And it's not only an intelligence machine, it is also a metaphor for the world. You see, you have one cube, and you have all these colors existing together on one cube. But you only win if they're all on their own side.
Thank you, Mr. Orbán. Are you telling me that you want us all to live in ghettos with our own kind?
Listen, Kelly, I'm not angry at you, I'm just disappointed. It is becoming clear to me that you and your awake audience
Awake?
Not sleeping.
Woke,
thank you.
yes.
Just yet another puppet of Soros George propaganda machine. If you do not believe me, I have proof. Indisputable proof of how far-reaching this agenda is.
Okay. Mr. Orbán, okay, people, if we had money from George Soros, our production values would be way higher, believe me.
I hope.
Yes, okay, so you don't like us, you don't like Soros, we get it. Is there anyone you like, Mr. Orbán?
Well, Vlad,
Yes?
America is a very great country, yes,
Yeah.
very strong, has a powerful core. There are, on the coast, a bit of Soros cancer has spread. Cut that off, the best country.
So Trump.
Trump.
Did you say the word Vlad earlier? Is there a Vlad you like?
In history, there are many, many great Vlads. Vlad the Impaler, Vladimir or Volodymyr the Great of Kiev Rus, Vladimir Klitschko. List goes on and on. But I will take a moment here, Kelly. Just maybe, it's not a conspiracy theory, but something for you to think about. Mm-hmm. Do you know how Vladimir Putin's name is Vladimir? Mm-hmm. And do you know how Volodymyr Zelensky's name is pretty much Vladimir?
Yes.
Have you ever seen them in the same room together?
Well, no, but there's a war on. Of course I haven't seen them in the same room together. What are you talking about?
I am not saying anything. I'm not like the propaganda machine of Soros George. I'm letting you make up your own mind. I'm just presenting the facts.
Okay, I think. Thank you, Mr. Orbán. I think there's quite enough facts for us here. It's. Oh, wait a second. Is that Joseph Sire?
Yes, that is the great Hungarian hero, Sire Joseph.
The disgraced MEP Joseph Sire, who took part in that.
The great Hungarian hero who penetrated the gay agenda in Brussels publicly expose them to protect the nuclear family and all the basic things that this civilization was built upon. Thank you.
I mean, you took part in the orgy, didn't you?
In the line of duty, I had to take many for the team.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Sayer and Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show.